Okay, so here's a really cool pocket hole system made by WORKPRO. Now, I needed one of these because as much as I had the Porter cables, quick jig system that's no longer made, which, by the way, if you find it, try to grab it because it is one of the best system out there. But I've had K3, K4 system. I've never used the K5, but there are times you absolutely need this type of a system where you just cannot clamp and you don't have the space for it. So this comes in handy. Now, the way it works with this one is that this little magnetic piece here is not only to measure the collar depth. So what you want to do is basically flip the unit over and make this side that's visible with has this little notch, not on the back. And there's a little tiny notch here, so you want to place it anywhere, or actually like right at the edge here. And when you place the drill bit, if you're drilling into, say, like a 2x4, it's 1.5 inches, and this is where you want to stop the collar. Now, if you're doing like a 3/4 inch plywood, you want to stop the tip around here, and then put the depth or the collar right here and tighten it. Now, if you're drilling and then you find that the hole is just going in too far, you can always readjust it. I would just caution going too deep and then too shallow. That way you don't go driving the screw all the way through. Now, this is set for 1.5 inches, and I'll show you how this works also. And what you want to do is, this side is going to lock into, for example, this 2x4 piece here. So you're going to leave it as is, and where these little notches are, you want to use the 1.5 inches for the 2x4. And that's all you do. As long as that's set and this is set, you can now clamp it. Now, you can use any type of clamps out there. For this one, I have one of the auto locking clamps, so it clamps really easily. What you want to make sure is that the blue piece is flush against the piece. Now, I'm going to use the drill here. Just want to make sure that the piece is always secure. Don't do what I did and put my finger there really close. Oops, I think I just dropped something. Now you have the two pocket holes. Now you're going to do the same with this, and then we'll clamp it together. Just going to do this, actually. Okay, so if you've never worked with pocket hole system, it's one of the best, well, easiest I should say, but also strong in terms of connecting two pieces together. Now, you could always butt joint them, but chances are a lot of people will be making shelves, and I only drilled two pieces just so I can show you. But let's just say you do one side. If you're making a permanent attachment, and you absolutely know that you won't be deattaching or uninstalling it soon, you always want to put wood glue. This will be rock solid outside the screw. Now, if you're making a bookshelf, I usually caution against using wood glue only because I've always had an excuse of disassembling it, and then you can salvage the unit, but if it's glued, you're gonna basically tear the wood apart, which may be okay for some people. Now, as far as the screw lengths, you got the 2.5, which is standard for connecting two 2x4s, 2 inch, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, and of course you got the inch. Now, 1.25 inches is very common using joining two 3/4 inch plywood together. 1.5 inches, and they don't tell you this in the manual, and you can find this information, is for connecting 2x4 against the plywood. Okay, so because you can't use same length screw for everything, because this will go right through like a 3/4 inch plywood, obviously. So depending on what you're doing, and you're not 100% sure, you can look up the information as far as the pocket hole screw length versus the actual piece itself. So for this example, I'm just going to do the 2.5-inch screw for standard 2-inch or 2x4 here. So I'm just going to put this in. Just want to keep the piece nice and secure. My impact driver is just old, so you do this drill bit does come with it, the square head. So if you did everything right, it shouldn't come through the other side. It's nice and secure. Now this should be nice and flat. So one thing I usually like to do is clamp these two pieces together nice and tight so that the screws will go in smooth, but also there's no like gap or shifted in between. But other than that, like I said, you always want to use wood glue if this is sort of like a permanent structure, and that will really keep this joint together nice and tight. And when I say I needed this is because if I'm doing a project where if something is already assembled, there's no way to put this inside the Craig system or Porter cable or other clamping type of a pocket hole system. That's why I say keep these in handy. If you're not 100% sure if you want to spend like over $100 like on a actual pocket hole system, then I would definitely start with this, because you know what, this is a lot cheaper than spending $140, $150 on another unit and you end up not using often. So this is a great starter tool, but also it's made pretty well. Hardened plastic, but also we got the aluminum steel insert there, and I've had no issues with this. So definitely try it out. If you end up getting using a lot of these screws, you can buy them bulk on Amazon as well, but this has been working great, so check it out.